There it is, Premier Designs. Pretty cool. This is it. This is goodbye. The final walkthrough right here. Last time that we're standing in this warehouse. In 2017, we started right here. About 18,000 square feet on the floor right here, about 20,000 or so, including that mezzanine. We're growing, so I'm super excited about it. You know, going over to the new building. You know, God did a lot of work here, man. I don't know how to tell you, but it's pretty freaking crazy. So this is it. This is it. God did some amazing work out here. Let's go. You coming with me? Just got done at the casa. Got breakfast. We are headed. We got a big day today. So we are 4 or 5 days from going live, and we've got 2 prospects coming in an hour. The first one comes in an hour, the tour of the facility, and then we have a large prospect coming in that's talking to us. We've had verbal commits from both of these, and both of them will be launching out of this new facility in the next month. That's the plans are, at least, next month or two. So we're super psyched about that. But headed in there, we are getting our gas station coffee here in a second. I'm not a coffee guy, but I drink like other things. We got a 30-minute drive in or so. So we'll be there here pretty soon. Today, we are officially working on the new space. We got prospects coming in. But when I look back, it's hard for me not to recognize the hand of God at work. The timing of when you get customers, the timing of when you get buildings and all this stuff. This building we're going, in fact, we'll just stick to that. We were growing out of the current space we had. We had about 34,000 square feet. We were at 120% capacity, but we were outgrowing that space, which is awesome. So we had a ton of momentum. We keep growing the business, and it's tough when you're doing, lease negotiations and all this stuff. And we really only could afford about 60 or 70,000 square feet for rent space and everything. That was kind of within our budget. That's what was going to work. But 60 or 70,000 square feet, that's a 2 years of growth for us, maybe, tops. We were going to outgrow that at the rate we're going. As we're looking for buildings, we found some good buildings, but they're kind of hard to negotiate, all this stuff. They were 60,000 square feet. They were within our budget. It's like, okay, they're nice buildings. They're within our budget. They're going to fit for now, but they're not going to be a great long-term plan for us. Well, I got a text message saying, hey, I know you're looking for new space. This company is leaving their space. And so, are you interested? I said, yes. I know the company. And they told me, I go, how big is it? And they said, it's 164,000 square feet, which is the exact number that I told Jordan Cox and Cleveland 2 years ago that I wanted to get as a home-based headquarters here in Dallas. I said, how much is it? And he gave us the price, and the price is the exact budget total all in of what we were going to pay for 70,000 square feet of our own space, which was phenomenal. So it's 164,000 square feet of warehouse space with 8,000 square feet of office within the budget of exactly what we were looking for. On top of that, the same week that it came through, as I was looking at this, I was praying. I was like, all right, God, make it clear which building we should go in, because I had these 3 buildings. I had this one I just told you about, the 164,000 square feet. Then I had these 2 other buildings, which were 60 and 70,000 square feet, that we were negotiating through. Well, that same week that I prayed, God, make it clear for us which building to go into. The other 2 buildings, the smaller buildings, the 60 and 70,000 square feet, both fell through. So we lost the 2 buildings that fell through. Out of all the buildings we always look at, the one that we came across is this one that we're going to right now. 164,000 square feet of warehouse, 8,000 square feet of office, and it's pretty phenomenal. So when I look at like the story of that, just that, and it's like a little thing. I can't explain how that instance like this happens multiple different times. It's one story here of this building of like, okay, I pray for this and this happened. I see this and this happens. Hey, we're looking for a space, and the timing of this building coming along, this happens, of who I know over here. There's so many other little factors in that I'm not sharing because I'm keeping it kind of high level here. Everything comes together so perfectly. And what I always look at, and I tell people this all the time, people say, hey man, congrats on your success. Like, good job. You guys, what are you guys doing? What's all this stuff? And all I tell people is like, look, I just show up. Like, I just keep going one day at a time. I try to learn, and then I just sit there open-handed and I say, God, this is your business. What do you want with it? The Lord gives and the Lord takes away. So it doesn't matter. It's like, all I'm trying to do is, here's a vision. It's like, we want to get to X amount of revenue. want to do this, want to be outrageously generous for God's kingdom in this company, what we're trying to do. My dad always told me, it's like, never forget where you came from, right? So we don't want to forget the small warehouse we started out of, the team members, the 3 or 4 team members we started with. Now that we got 40 plus, we're building this company. I don't want to forget any of that. My granddad always talked about, well, is your life by chance or is your life by design? And if you look back on your life, it's not by chance. If you're honest with yourself, the timing of when you got a job, the person that you met, hey, the timing of maybe when you got married, or the timing of when your first kid came along, it's just looking at everything. Your life is so intricately designed. You are placed where you are for a reason. And you have a purpose, you have a mission, and God is sitting there pulling at your heart saying, hey, this is the direction I want you to go, and this is what we're doing. When you look back on your life, it takes humility to recognize, hey man, there's more to life than just yourself. And your life is by design. Like, you are where you are for a reason. And I think for me, I look back on the history so far of Deliverzen, we would not be where we are. We got 40-something different customers. We're a growing business. We have quadrupled in the past 2 years. We're probably going to double again this year. And then we're likely to quadruple over the next 2 years as well, and just keep going. So that's just because we just keep showing up. We just try to stay faithful. We try to stay focused on the end mission, the end goal in mind, and our team, and keep building and learn from our mistakes, and just make sure that we're honoring God in everything we can do. We are here, the new space, super fired up. Madeline just pulled up. This is her prospect that we're about to tour into the new warehouse. We should probably park. In fact, I'm gonna park over there, so I want our guests to be able to have a parking spot. This is a server room, not that big of a deal, it's just computer stuff. Cleford, that's a training room.
Keeps going.
Yeah, that's a training room. So people come in here for forklift certifications. All the stuff we gotta do for all the warehouse guys that come in here, which is great. A little pass through. Okay. This is Luis's office, warehouse manager,
nice.
So he's got that.
This is crazy.
Isn't it sick?
It's so sick.
I'm stoked.
It just looks so clean.
So we'll tour and walk through and we'll stay on the yellow, but all this will be pallets.
Okay.
So big pallets, picks, they're gonna have a complete throughput. Customer service is gonna be right here. Operational command center, right here, all this.
Nice.
So picking is gonna be over there, packing's all here.
Okay.
So I'll show you that in here in a second. So you can kind of get a look at this. This is the
conveyors are cool.
Yeah, so this is cool. We got conveyors. We also have stretch conveyors. So we got 4 or 5 big stretch conveyors. So essentially it looks like this, but it compacts to 10 feet, goes out to 40 feet. So all this is cool. So you get the vision of the tables, the desk. Forward pick. So this is cool. This is a good thing for apparel. Rolls down gravity fed.
So as you pick one up, it just keeps rolling
Exactly,
down.
Right. So you replan from the back and you pick from the front, which is sick.
Nice.
So we're gonna bin all this out.
So this is all pick and pack, all of these right here?
All this is gonna be forward picking, yes.
Looks like one of those body scan things I used to sell.
It's exactly what really, you spin or whatever. Yeah, so you spin it, it goes up and wraps the pallet. So it's sick. Yeah, it's gonna make their lives 10 times easier.
Yeah, just little things to take, just to have the extra tables is just really nice. So this is still all of us back here?
This is all of us, yeah. So we'll keep going this way. This is in the additional office, content, little studio set up in there.
And a little golf simulator?
Probably, that's the plan. Hey, just giving tours. We got those 2 prospect tours today. They're gonna be here by 1. Make sure all the lights are on everywhere. Yes, sir. I wanna walk them in, I wanna be bright and lit. But all this out here, when they walk that front door, I want it to be massively lit. Yes, sir. They're coming at 1, yeah. So there's that office.
Okay.
In here, a lot of brands like this stuff too. These bay insulators,
yeah.
Just kind of mess with those, but all of our doors, most of them have these. And the reason why that's important is because it keeps it out of the weather.
Oh,
so if it's raining, it keeps it from getting
wet or anything
damaged. Or if they're shipping to us something that has to be climate controlled in the dead of heat and it comes from a frozen thing.
Hello, this is Madeline. How are you? Are you here?
Comes in there out. This is gonna be kitting projects all along here. That's what it's unbelievable. It's I can't explain that. It is such a God thing, Madeline.
Yeah,
I'm not exaggerating.
No, it
it's
really is.
the time we couldn't afford more than that. The something that's getting it's just a blessing. It is a gift. Sansi. We got, I don't know. We're touring. We can't be holding mics. You gotta take it.
We are here meeting up with Sean Dunn, groundwire.net. One of the purposes of the company is to support Christian ministries and Christian work around the world. So we're super psyched about that. Sean Dunn, I meet with him. He's a cool guy. He comes to town. He's fundraising a bunch of stuff. Our family's been a part of the ministry for a long time. I wanted Sonsing and Madeline to see this a little bit. I just want to see, hey guys, here's who we are, here's why we do this, and here's what we're about. So it's cool. So we just got back from a lunch with Ministry Sean Dunn, Groundwire, really cool stuff. So when you walk into like this warehouse, I don't know how much you've seen on the video or not like this, but it opens up 164,000 square feet. It's not by the work that we've done. We just show up. We're just consistent. I can tell you right now, there's one area in life that really almost you can't control, is who you know and timing. You can control who you know, and you might be able to control the timing of when you launch a product or do something, but you can't control the timing of when those two worlds collide. You can't control that I just met this guy who's doing whatever business that 2 years later he needs us to help service their customer, and the same time that we needed to add more business for certain revenue or get a new building or whatever it may be. The timing of those two worlds colliding is when I'm able to actually look back and be like, yeah, that's God. It's nothing I did. So who you know and timing, when you look back on your life, that's like probably one of the areas I would say is like if you look back on the time of your life where you started, so never forget where you came from, and then look at the network of people of who you met, how you met them, and when you met them, and maybe there's an impact on your life that you've had that may have changed the trajectory of your life for you guys. And those are simple little areas that I know that I look back on Deliverzen, I can see God's hand at work in my life and the company and everything that we're a part of. It's been fun.
So we are headed back to the casa. My wife just called me. We got to pick up something for her on the way home. They close at 5, and we are going to arrive there at 4:59. So we were hustling back. Had an epic day. We had those 2 prospect tours. Both of those went great. Super fired up about those, which is awesome. Went to lunch with Sean Dunn, which is cool. He's a ministry partner that we work with, which is awesome that we can kind of be a part of and see God's hand work through what he's doing through Groundwire. Groundwire is a sweet ministry. Check it out. It's awesome. Cool what they're doing. Sharing the gospel. And then Kevin Lawton, but he's a good dude. I met him maybe about a year ago in the industry, and he came by and just checked out the new warehouse, filmed some videos with him a little bit, just little stuff. And then he was asking the story about Deliverzen. Like, how did we start? Where did we come from? How have we grown? And it's, when you sit there and talk about it, it's like, man, it's just really cool to see, we've quadrupled in 2 years. We're just on a trajectory that is only explainable by what God's been doing in the work of the company and the people here and putting all the pieces together. And you look back on the whole story, and I can't explain how everything has worked out the way it has. I can't. Like, it's just, okay, great. You show up every day, you keep working, you stay persistent, you shake hands, you network. Ultimately, it's by design that we get to where we are, and not by our design. It's by what God has been doing and us trying to steward what he's given us. And it's been fun. You just kind of stay faithful in the little things, and then continue to be persistent and just continue to show up, and you continue to honor God. And, with the convictions that we believe, me as a Christian, what I believe the Bible says for us to live by and to do, and stay faithful. God will always be there, which is phenomenal. So you have a vision. Visions come from the Lord. Man makes his plans and the Lord directs his steps. There's a ton of scripture into running a business, into running life, and how you should live. And there's biblical principles that come to be truthful. And as a Christian, I think that's just that's the way we run our business. We're built on a biblical foundation, and it's a blessing to see God's hand work so well inside of those promises he makes, the timing, everything. It's intricate, man. It's intricate. There's 2 things I'll say to close this out. If you look back on your life, you'll look back and you'll see God's hand work. You'll see times in your life that you can't really explain what happened, or you can't really explain how you got there, right? And then usually, good, bad, or ugly, whatever it is. And usually those are moments where it's like, hey, God is working in your life. The second side of it is that, God's going to talk to you in a unique way to you. Like, you're going to know.
Like you're gonna be, it may not be fully clear. I'm not saying God's gonna speak to you in some voice, whatever it is. That's not the case. But if you're open to it, the Bible says, I stand at the door and knock, and you just have to open the door. It's like, I'm here. And it's just the acceptance of what the gospel is, acceptance of the fact that there is a designer, there is a God that cares about you, and that cares enough that he sent his son Jesus to die on a cross. And it's like, hey, you know, God did this for us. Then it's like, you know, I can't deny that he's working in my life. And that's a lot of times I tell people is like, look, man, just look back in your life. Where are those moments in your life that, you know, if you were honest with yourself, are almost inexplainable? They're there. I think everybody's got those moments. And those are the times when you'll realize, man, there is a designer. There is a God that cares about me, that knows the numbers, the hairs on my head. It's awesome to see that. It's intricate. Yeah, and he has been active in our company and active Deliverzen, and through the network of people we're meeting, the company, the prospects, the building that we're in now, just everything. It's been a massive blessing, the journey that I've been able to be a part of and see God's hands work in my life and in others' lives, and the blessing it's been. Sounding off this first little setup we got, talking about the design of life, the design of the company we've been building, man. This company would not be here if it weren't for the things that God has done and what he is doing. He is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So we're fired up, man.